Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Watson, and today I'm going to be going over the best practices for calculating anticipated pay increases. What is an anticipated pay increase? It's any increase to the applicant or resident's current income that's expected in the next 12 months. Some examples would be the cost of living adjustment, also known as the COLA. This is typically associated with retirement income, such as Social Security benefits, pension income, or income from the VA. The Social Security Administrator typically announces these increases in October of each year. Another type of pay increase would be annual or merit-based increases. These are generally related to employment income and would be reported on the verification of employment. You may also need to follow up with the employer to confirm the amount of the increase and or when it will take effect. Throughout this training, you'll hear me refer to the certification period quite often. In order to accurately calculate an anticipated pay increase, you first need to know the certification period for the file you're working on. So how do you determine the certification period? Well, remember that all certifications are valid for 12 months from the effective date. So for a file that's effective September 27th of 2021, what's your certification period? It would run from September 27th, 2021 through September 26th of 2022, so one full year. Let's look at another example. For a file that's effective August 27th of 2019, what's your certification period? Again, it would run for one full year, so August 27th, 2019 through August 26th of 2020. We'll look at one more example. So for a file that's effective June 1st of 2022, what's your certification period? It would run from June 1st, 2022 through May 31st of 2023. So let's start by going over the Social Security cost of living adjustment, also known as the COLA. So this is a screenshot from the Social Security Administrator's website, and it's announcing the COLA for 2022. You can see that it was 5.9%. And again, these are typically announced in October of every year, and the payments take effect in January of the following year. So let's take a look at an example of a Social Security verification letter. You can see that this is dated November 1st, 2021. So that was after the 2022 COLA was announced in October of 2021. So looking at this letter, you might notice that it says beginning in December of 2021, the Social Security benefit amount is $900.50. And you might think, wait a minute, I thought that the COLA increase took effect in January. Well, let's take a closer look at this paragraph here. It says that Social Security benefits for a given month are paid for the following month. For example, Social Security benefits for March are paid in April. So yes, the increases all take effect in January, but the month that the monthly payment they're receiving is actually for December. So that's why this letter shows that it's beginning in December of 2021. It's actually being received in January, and that's when the increase takes effect. Now let's take a look at the Social Security award letter. Remember, you can use an award letter to verify income throughout the year. You don't always need to request a current statement from the Social Security Administrator. The award letter can be used throughout the year. But what about after the COLA has been announced? You can still continue to use it. You would just need to manually calculate the COLA and apply it accordingly. So for 2022, remember our increase was 5.9%. So looking at the 2021 award letter, we can see that the monthly amount was $1,352. So when we multiply that by 5.9%, we come up with a monthly increase of $79.77. So when we add that to the 2021 amount, we come up with $1,431.77. That is the 2022 benefit amount. So in this example, let's say that the household is planning to move in on November 1st of 2021. So remember, the certification period is from November 1st of 2021 through October 31st of 2022. So that's what we need to calculate income for. And we have all the tools we need with the annual award letter and knowing what the 2022 COLA amount is. We would need to calculate their income based on the 2021 amount from November 1st through December 31st through the end of the year, because that would be at the 2021 amount. And then from January 1st through October 31st of 2022, that's when we would apply the anticipated COLA. So here's how it would look. You would calculate $1,352 times 2 months for November and December. That gives you $2,704. And then you would calculate $1,431.77 times 10 months, and that would give you $14,317.70. Then when you add it all up, that gives you the anticipated annual income of $17,000 or $17,021.70. And this is what would need to be entered on the HAC form. Next, let's go over annual and merit-based pay increases. So many employees are eligible for pay increases either on an annual basis or as a result of a promotion. Any anticipated increases expected to take effect within the certification period need to be calculated and added to the total annual income. So why is the effective date of the pay increase so important? Because you need to establish an accurate time frame to ensure that the increase is correctly applied to the annual income. The date range for the increase will always depend on 2 dates. First, the date that the increase takes effect, and the effective date of the file. If the pay increase takes effect after the effective date of the file, then the increase needs to be applied to the remainder of the certification period. So an example would be the effective date of your certification is February 1st, 2022. And the pay increase date is May 1st of 2022. So it takes effect after they've moved in. The certification period, again, remember, is from February 1st, 2022 through January 31st of the following year. So you need to make sure that you're applying the pay increase from May 1st of 2022 through the end of the certification period on January 31st, 2023. How do you do that? Well, first you need to determine the number of weeks for the anticipated pay increase. Some of you may have calculation worksheets that do this for you. You're able to just plug in the information and it calculates the pay increase and correctly applies it for the appropriate number of weeks. But if you are going to be calculating manually, we recommend the calculator that can be found at timeanddate.com, and you basically just plug in your dates and it gives you all of the information that you need. So let's look at an example where the move-in date is June 15th of 2022. So remember, our certification period would run from June 15th of 2022 through June 14th of 2023. So the date that you're going to be plugging in as the end date is June 14th of 2023. And then the date that you would plug in as your start date would be the date that the pay increase takes effect. So in this example, it's July 1st, 2022. So then you want to always remember to check the little box that says include the end date in calculation. And then you would click calculate duration, and it's going to show you a breakdown in several different time units, but what you want to focus on is the number of days. So this shows us that it's 349 days, which you would divide by 7 to give you 49.86. You're dividing it by 7 because there are 7 days in a week. So that gives you 49.86 weeks that the pay increase needs to be counted for. Now it's time to add it all up. We're going to look at a sample verification of employment, or VOE, for an applicant who's scheduled to move in on June 15th, 2022. The income limit for this household is $45,200. So this applicant is earning $20 an hour at 40 hours per week. So we multiply that by 52, which gives us $41,600. She works 1 hour of overtime at $30 an hour times 52 weeks, gives us $1,560. When we add that together, we come up with $43,160. But we're not quite done yet, are we? We have to calculate the pay increase. This applicant is scheduled to receive a pay increase of 75 cents on July 1st of 2022. So you'll recall from our prior slide, when we entered the date range for this pay increase, we came up with 49.86 weeks. So we're going to be calculating 75 cents times 40 hours times 49.86 weeks, which gives us $1,495.80. For the overtime, I'm going to calculate the pay increase amount times 1.5. So 75 cents times 1.5 is 1.125. But I went ahead and rounded up to 113. So 113 times 49.86 weeks gives us $56.34. So when we add the pay increase amounts, our new annual income is $44,712.14. But we still need to calculate her year-to-date earnings, don't we? So our date range is January 1st through April 30th. And we determined using our time and date calculator that is 17.14 weeks. So 14,375 divided by 17.14 weeks gives us a weekly amount of $838.68. When we multiply that by 52, we come up with $43,611.36. We still have to apply the pay increase though. So we're going to borrow these totals that we came up with in our prior calculations, and we're going to add the hourly increase of $1,495.80 and the overtime increase of $56.34, and that gives us an annualized annual income of $45,163.50. So we're still under the income limit, just barely, but we're good. We're looking okay. But what happens if your applicant isn't able to move in on June 15th like you planned? Things come up. This happens quite often. Maybe the unit wasn't ready, or the applicant wasn't able to secure movers in time, so they had to push their move-in date back a bit. So now this applicant is going to be moving in on July 15th. The income limit is still $45,200. So what should you do? Should you just update all of the lease documents to the new move-in date and call it good since you've already calculated their income? Or should you maybe take a second look at the income calculations? I'd recommend taking a second look at your income calculations anytime there's a change to the move-in date. So it's a good thing we're looking at this again, because now we see that the pay increase will now take effect prior to the move-in date. So this pay increase goes into effect on July 1st, and the applicant is moving in on July 15th. So instead of applying the pay increase for only 49.86 weeks, we need to apply it for a full 52-week period. So our hourly calculations are going to be generally the same as before, with the exception of the pay increase. Now the pay increase we need to calculate based on 52 weeks. So we have 75 cents times 40 hours times 52 weeks gives us $1,560. And the overtime is $1.13 times 52 weeks gives us $58.76. When you add it all up, it gives us a new annual income of $44,778, or excuse me, $44,778.76. So our income is inching up, but we're still under the income limit. But we're not done yet. We still need to calculate the year-to-date earnings. So again, we can borrow our calculations from before when we take the year-to-date amount of $14,375 divided by 17.14 weeks. Our weekly amount is $838.68. Multiplied by 52 gives us $43,611.36. And now we're going to borrow our pay increase amounts that we just calculated over here on the left. So we're going to add the $1,560 for the hourly increase and the $58.76 for the overtime increase. And we're going to add it all up. And that gives us $45,230.12. So we're now over the income limit. So it's really important. This is a good example of why it's a good idea to take a second look at your calculations anytime there's a change to the move-in date. You know, they were really close to the income limit to begin with, so the margins aren't always going to be quite so razor thin, but it is always a good idea anytime there is a change to your move-in date to just take a second look at your income calculations and make sure that nothing needs to be updated. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this training helpful. For additional information, you can visit our website at wshfc.org. That's wshfc.org. And from the top menu, if you click on the compliance link, that'll bring you to our asset management and compliance page. Here you can find links to all kinds of useful information. You can find the contact information for your portfolio analyst. You can find the income and rent limits, and there's also a link for additional workshops and trainings. Again, thank you so much for watching.